Thursday, 25th October 2018. In our lead stories, nationally, excessive force by RSS officers will not be tolerated, so says Head of Operations ACP Adolph Adams, and police investigating fatal traffic accident. Regionally, St. Lucia police investigating foiled human trafficking case. Internationally, Khashoggi's murder premeditated, says Saudi prosecutor. And in sports, LeBron James claims first Los Angeles Lakers victory. We'll have the details to these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back, and now the national news in detail.
The RSS are here, but all the laws of the land will be observed by the RSS. We have had meetings with the RSS. We have gone through aspects of our constitution, our police act with them, also our regulation, so they understand. Most of the persons who are here from the RSS are senior persons, SAD, corporal and upwards to inspector. They are senior persons. So they understand policing, they understand how to deal with people.
Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACP, with responsibility for operations, Adolph Adams. The RSS forces began arriving in the Federation on Wednesday, October 10th at the invitation of the federal government to provide additional resources to complement the efforts of the local law enforcement agencies in their fight against crime. Since their arrival, there have been reports of officers using excessive force during operations with local law enforcement officers. ACP Adams, who is in charge of the force, says that these alleged incidents will be investigated.
I have taken it up on my own, and I have gone to the Office of Professional Standards because it is a concern for me. I am from St. Kitts, and there's no way I'm going to feel good about people coming here and beating up people from here. I ain't going to feel good about that. So I took it upon myself. I went to the Office of Professional Standards and I inquired. All right? And I am glad to report that there are no large amount of reports coming in against the RSS in relation to beating anyone. All right? So I would just like to say that. And the laws of the land will be observed by all members of the RSS. And as long as I am in this position where I am managing this operation, I would not tolerate any bad behavior, any nonsense from any police officer against our public. I won't tolerate that anytime again.
Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACP, with responsibility for operations, Adolph Adams. Police are investigating a fatal traffic accident that occurred along the Old Road Bay Road in St. Kitts over the last weekend. According to police communique, the accident occurred close to 10 p.m. on Friday, October 19th, and involved motorcar P1379, which was owned and driven by Police Constable Antonio Freeman of Birchilds, and motor pickup PA6999, which is owned by Keith Roy Dyer and was being driven by Amalie Dyer of Halfway Tree, and motor G PA4122, which is owned and was being driven by Robert Marsham of Godwin Gut. Investigations have so far revealed that Freeman was traveling from Birchilds to Bastia, Marsham was traveling from Godwin Gut to Bastia, and Dyer was traveling from Bastia to Halfway Tree. Freeman was traveling behind a motor omnibus which overtook Marsham. Freeman also overtook Marsham, and while doing so, he collided with Dyer, who was coming from the opposite direction, and with Marsham. Both PA1379 and PA6999 was extensively damaged. Motor G PA4122 also received damages. Freeman, who was trapped inside his vehicle, was removed with the assistance of fire and rescue service officers who used of the jaws of life to cut him out. Jaws of Life is a huge tool used to free people from damaged cars. He was then assisted by emergency medical service personnel and transported to the JNF hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries. 3 other persons were taken to the hospital. 2 children were treated and discharged for minor injuries, and an adult remains in a stable condition at the hospital. A documentary film to pay tribute to Nivision-born Dr. Arthur Franz, MBE, and to embrace the 50th anniversary of the Leeds West Indian Carnival will be held this evening at 7. The Nevis UK Exchange Committee will be hosting a film at NIPAC, and there is no admission fee. Ms. Sheila James from the Ministry of Health provided this explanation as to how the idea came about.
Last year, we took 40 delegates from Nevis to Leeds to celebrate with Arthur Franz, who's now Dr. Arthur Franz MBE. There's a special reason why we did that, was because Arthur is actually from the island of Nevis, and because he was homesick for Nevis, he developed Carnival, which is now 50 years on. So we think it's time that we pay tribute to a man of that status, and also for the people in Nevis to recognise that great things do happen for people from the island of Nevis.
She also provided a brief history of how the Leeds Carnival was conceptualized.
Arthur left here when he was 19 years old. He went to the UK, and if you know anything about the history of the movement of black people from the Caribbean to the UK, it wasn't a nice experience for many. Now, Arthur took comfort in his culture, and himself and a couple of other guys who he went to university with of heritage, Caribbean heritage, decided they were going to put Carnival back on the map. And it was difficult. It wasn't easy. Even his own people thought he was crazy, because it's like, you're in the UK, the people in the UK are not going to accept it, they'll never understand it. But 50 years on, I should say 51 years on now, people are still basically jamming the streets of Leeds every year in August.
Miss Sheila James. Unconfirmed reports reaching the VON News line have revealed that a body was found in St. Kitts sometime today, October 25th. Sources say the body was found in some grass with what appeared to be gunshot wounds about the body in St. Paul's. Details are still sketchy, but this media house will provide more details on this story as they become available. Residents from western side of St. Kitts praised the work of the Solid Waste Management Corporation in launching the National Cleanup Campaign, which went into its 5th week this past weekend. Member of Parliament for the area, the Honourable Lindsay Grant, commended the corporation while encouraging residents to take advantage of the opportunity to dispose of their white goods and bulky waste. Some residents of Halfway Tree also commended the corporation for the National Cleanup Campaign. The recent edition of the cleanup campaign also stopped in Frigate Bay, Bird Rock to Newtown and Independence Square, including 4th Street. Having spanned a wide cross-section of the island, the campaign will this weekend focus on activities to ensure that the area were not adequately addressed during the cleanup campaign. Mr. Jaron Brown of the Nevis Island Administration IT Department is among IT professionals from St. Kitts and Nevis and the other OECS member states who were introduced and trained in the use of a HIV/STI/TB clinical management software. The OECS Commission's Health Unit introduced the new software to the region and has trained IT professionals in its use to vastly improve HIV/AIDS data collection across the Eastern Caribbean. The training followed the official launch of the clinical management system held in January 2018 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which was selected as the pilot country. A major outcome of the new clinical management software is timely data to support government health policy decision-making, both at the community level and regionally. The workshop forms part of Regional TB/HIV Elimination Project. The US $5 million project, funded by the Global Fund, is expected to be implemented for 3 years in 6 participating OECS member states: St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Antigua, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Grenada. The HIV/STI/TB Elimination Project also includes sensitization campaigns in high-risk communities and other initiatives that seek to raise public awareness on sexually transmitted diseases in the coming months. In police news, following a joint operation that was conducted in St. Paul, St. Kitts, police seized a firearm and several rounds of ammunition on Tuesday, October 23rd. The operation included members of the Special Services Unit, SSU, of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, Her Majesty's Custom and Excise Department, and the Regional Security Service, RSS. Additionally, the execution of several warrants on a number of homes in the village were included in the operation. Based on information from the police, at the end of the operation, one 357 Magnum revolver was found in a wall fence along with 5 matching rounds of ammunition and 7 38mm rounds of ammunition. 7 40mm rounds of ammunition and a mask were also found in other locations in the village. 4 persons were taken into police custody for questioning in relation to the find. To date, this latest firearm seizure brings the total number of firearms taken into police custody to 34 for 2018. Finally, the Ministry of Tourism continues to ensure that persons within the tourism sector receive the training they need to boost their businesses and build their entrepreneurial skills. 56 craft artisans in St. Kitts and Nevis gathered at the Ocean Terrace Inn OTI Conference Room on Thursday, October 25, 2018, to participate in a capacity building workshop which equipped them with the skills to better manage their businesses. The half-day workshop was held under the Ministry of Tourism project, Achieving Market Access for Niche Artisanal Producers, and was sponsored by the Organization of American States, OAS. Flamboyant expert and OAS consultant Dale Kelly noted that the focus of the workshop was on branding, marketing, pricing of products, processing customers' payments, and ways of regulating their markets. In September 2018, the Ministry of Tourism hosted a week-long leathercraft workshop in collaboration with representatives from Colombia, training 24 local artisans. Out of the 24, the top 5 persons received scholarships to access further training in Colombia in 2019. That's our national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com, or you can check us out on our social media page on Facebook on Von Radio and our Von Radio YouTube channel. News from across the region is next.
Home. It means something different to everyone. It's a place you love, a place as unique as you are, a place where you can be yourselves, a place for life's big surprises, and not to mention the small ones. Moments to cherish and moments that last a lifetime. It's a place for nurture and a place where you can grow together. It's home. So whether you're building, purchasing, or renovating, the Bank of Nevis is here to open the door, giving you the confidence to dream and the help you need to get there with a mortgage loan from the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back, and now the regional news in detail. In St. Lucia, police say they are investigating a possible human trafficking case after a Venezuelan teenager was rescued over the last weekend. The unidentified 16-year-old female, who had been a resident in the neighboring French island of Martinique, is reported to have run to a stranger and begged for help, saying that she had been kidnapped and sexually abused. She was also reported missing in Martinique. Local media says sources said that the young woman was partially naked and was complaining of intense pain. Unconfirmed reports say that she was sedated by her captors and brought to St. Lucia. A woman whose name was not disclosed reportedly took the teenager to her home, where she was given a meal and some clothing and later handed over to the Criminal Investigations Department of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Out of Puerto Rico. Thousands of Puerto Ricans have been forced to drain their savings, close their businesses, or resign themselves to living with structural damage as they fight insurance companies over millions of dollars worth of claims that have gone unanswered or unpaid more than a year after Hurricane Maria. Experts say the Category 4 storm caught insurance companies off guard and left them reeling financially after they were hit with nearly 279,000 claims, a number that one expert called extraordinary. One major insurer has already folded, leaving more than 1,500 claims worth a total of $70 million up in the year. Many worry about other companies might follow. Director of the Property and Casualty Ratings Division for AM Best, an insurance rating firm, Brian Olati, said 2 insurance companies in Puerto Rico are also under review with negative implications. Hurricane Maria was the strongest storm to hit Puerto Rico in nearly a century, causing more than $100 billion in estimated damage, destroying the power grid and forcing businesses to remain closed for months. Regional Prime Ministers Antigua and Barbuda's Gaston Brown, Barbados' Mia Mottley, Grenada's Dr. Keith Mitchell, and St. Lucia's Alan Chastney joined the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, SVG, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, on Monday at the Argyle International Airport in St. Vincent for an update on the Technical Committee report on the restructuring of the regional air carrier Liat. The meeting of the shareholder governments Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, and SVG was chaired by Gonsalves, and also in attendance were Erwin LaRocque, Secretary General of CARICOM, Jean Holder, Chairman of the Liat Board, Julie Griffier-Jones, CEO of Liat, and Dr. Didicus Jules, Director General of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS. Liat is currently engaged in restructuring as part of its efforts to achieve greater profitability and improve efficiency amidst concern that the traveling public must be better served. Gonsalves noted that while Liat has made an invaluable contribution to Caribbean development, the Antigua-based airline has been challenged by some weaknesses and limitations. Gonsalves told reporters that he feared that if we don't seek to enhance those strengths and possibilities and simply get the weaknesses and the limitations out of the way, we are not likely to have something which is sustainable. Finally, news from the Bahamas. Another payout exercise to CLECO policyholders should be rolled out relatively soon, so says Minister of Finance and Deputy Prime Minister DPM Peter Turnquest. Government allocated $10 million of the 2018-2019 budget for policy payouts. Mr. Turnquest told reporters on Tuesday that the government of the Bahamas has been committed to making the payouts to the CLECO policyholders. We've been doing it over a number of years, and we are set to make another payment this year. According to the Nassau Guardian, the DPM stated the government has been prioritizing the payouts based on the amount of the annuities, money paid annually, that have been maturing, and most of the smaller payments have been liquidated. The bigger ones we are paying in stages. CLECO Bahamas Limited went through a court-ordered liquidation in 2009. Liquidation is the process of closing a business so that its assets can be sold to pay its debts. That's it for our regional stories. Stay with us for news around the world. Welcome back, and now the international news in detail. journalist Jamal Khashoggi's murder was premeditated, Saudi Arabia's public prosecutor has been quoted as saying by Saudi state media. The evidence for this came from a joint Saudi-Turkish task force, broadcaster Al Ekbariya said. It also reported that prosecutors were questioning suspects as a result of the joint investigation. Saudi Arabia had initially denied all knowledge of the writer's whereabouts when he went missing on October 2nd. The kingdom has since admitted he was murdered at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, blaming a rogue operation.
There have been long leaked details from these audio recordings that were said to exist. Very lurid details indeed, suggesting that on the recordings you can hear the altercations with Jamal Khashoggi, you can hear screams from inside the Consul General's office, the torturing of him, the dismemberment of the body. There was speculation for some days as to whether they really existed or whether this was a way of the Turks simply having leverage over the Saudis by claiming they existed, but it does seem indeed that they exist, and if they reports are to be believed, they've been handed over to Gina Haspel. Gina Haspel will brief the White House following her return from Turkey.
A suspect package similar to those sent to CNN and senior Democrats has been sent to a New York restaurant owned by the actor Robert De Niro, U.S. media say. The device arrived at the Tribeca Grill in Manhattan, U.S. media said. Former Vice President Joe Biden has also reportedly received packages. If linked to previous incidents, this would be the 9th perceived critic of President Donald Trump to receive a suspected explosive device this week.
New York police were first alerted in the early hours of this morning. A suspicious package had been delivered to Robert De Niro's Lower Manhattan office. Television pictures showed the device being transported in a specialized containment truck to a police facility in the Bronx. Like most of the 7 previous recipients of suspected bombs, Robert De Niro is an outspoken critic of President Donald Trump. None of the devices have so far detonated, but a nationwide hunt is now on for a serial bomber. A short time ago, Mr. Trump seemed once again to blame what he called fake news.
Businessman and billionaire Sir Philip Green has been named in Parliament as the leading businessman accused by a newspaper of sexual and racial harassment. Arcadia Group Limited is a British multinational retailing company headquartered in London, United Kingdom. Peter Hain, who identified him in the Lords, said it was his duty to name him given the serious and repeated nature of the allegations. The Telegraph accused but did not name the businessman on Tuesday. Here is Mr. Hain.
Someone intimately involved in the case of a powerful businessman using non-disclosure agreements and substantial payments to conceal the truth about serious and repeated sexual harassment, racist abuse and bullying, which is compulsively continuing. I feel it's my duty under parliamentary privilege to name Philip Green as the individual in question, given that the media have been subject to an injunction preventing publication of the full details of a story which is clearly in the public interest.
Ethiopian members of parliament have selected Sahle-Work Zewde as the country's first female president. Ms. Sahle-Work is an experienced diplomat who has now become Africa's only female head of state. Her election to the ceremonial position comes a week after Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed appointed a cabinet with half the posts taken up by women. That brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
Special request and popular demand, and even better than before. You asked and we listened. This weekend, it's the return of the TDC Automotive two-day blowout sale. Save 35% on tires, 35% on spares, and 35% on accessories. Plus, get special discounts both days on Coaster and light truck tires. So, this Friday and Saturday, go to TDC Automotive Divisions for this limited time offer. See stores for details.
Welcome back, and now the sports in detail. In basketball, LeBron James claimed his first NBA win for the Los Angeles Lakers with a 131-113 victory over the Phoenix Suns. The three-time NBA champion put up 19 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds before sitting out the fourth quarter with the Lakers 20 points ahead. It follows 3 straight defeats for the Lakers to start the season after James, 33, joined from the Cleveland Cavaliers in the summer in a 4-year deal worth $154 million. The visitors were without Rajon Rondo and Brandon Ingram, who were serving bans for their part in a brawl during defeat by the Houston Rockets on Sunday. Elsewhere, Stephen Curry scored 51 points in 3 quarters, including 11 three-pointers as defending champions the Golden State Warriors beat the Washington Wizards 144-122. The two-time MVP 30 finished 3 points short of his career high of 54 and 3 three-pointers short of breaking his NBA record of 13 made in a single game, as he did not enter for the fourth quarter. In cricket, the Tate Ball Cricket Tournament, hosted by the Youth and Sports Department, continued at the E.T. Willett Park on Wednesday, October 24th, in the second game of the evening. Calypso went up against All Stars, and Calypso batted their way to 82 for 1 in the allotted 10 overs. The All Stars team maintains their lead at the top of the points table, winning all 5 matches played so far. Summarized scores: Calypso 82 for 1 in 10 overs, Ever Webb 49 not out, Dennis Sargent 24, Kian Pemberton 1 for 6. All Stars 85 for 5 in 10 overs, Jamie Cornelius 36, Tijari Clark 10, France Newton, Harvey and Webb 1 wicket each. All Stars won by 5 wickets. Meanwhile, in the first game of the evening, Empire got the better of Highlights. Empire won by 8 wickets. In football, England has moved up to 5th in FIFA's latest world rankings, their highest position for 5 years. Belgium is now the outright #1 side in the world, having previously been tied at the top with France, who slipped to 2nd. Wales move up a place to 18th, but there are drops of the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, who are now 33rd and 34th respectively. Germany continues to struggle, falling 2 places to 14th following losses to Netherlands and France. Finally, in tennis, Sloane Stephens beat Kiki Bertens at the WTA Finals in a result that spared U.S. Open champion Naomi Osaka early elimination. The American 25 won 6 of the last 7 games to claim the match 7-6, 7-4, 2-6, 6-3. The victory means all 4 players in the red group can still qualify or be eliminated going into the final games. That's it for the sports segment. The general weather forecast is next. Welcome back, and now the local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. The air mass across the area continues to be dry and stable. This will result in low chances for cloudiness and showers across the islands over the next 24 hours. Weather tonight, fair to partly cloudy with a 20% or slight chance of showers. Weather tomorrow, sunny to partly sunny with a 20% or slight chance of showers. Winds northeast at 9 to 19 kilometers per hour or 5 to 10 knots. Seas moderate with significant wave height 1.2 meters or 4 feet. Sunrise tomorrow is at 6:07 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Thursday, 25th October 2018. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, excessive force by RSS officers will not be tolerated, so says Head of Operations ACP Adolph Adams. And police investigating fatal traffic accident. Regionally, St. Lucia police investigating foiled human trafficking case. Internationally, Khashoggi's murder premeditated, says Saudi prosecutor. And in sports, LeBron James claims first Los Angeles Lakers victory. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tammy Reed, wishing you a pleasant evening.